Hi, my name's Ted. I'm an alumni of the Midnight Mission. I'm 43 years old, and this is my story. It's been about 5 years since I've graduated this program, and it still means the world to me. I have so much gratitude to be able to come down here when able, volunteer, help out, and try to be useful to the mission. What they have done for me and the skills that they have given to me are absolutely priceless. So I was at this program for about a year. I started off in the kitchen serving breakfasts, which is probably the first job that I've had in a very long time. It taught me so many life skills here, like getting up every day and taking a shower. I was unable to do that before I came here. To put on clean clothes every day, I was unable to do that. I experienced homelessness for about 1.5 to 2 years before I ended up at the Midnight Mission. I was homeless out in Boston, Massachusetts. One of the alumni here, Ben, had told me about his experience here and had helped me get in touch with Mr. Eli. I pulled some resources together and I was able to get out here. And because of his help, I was able to get a bed here in the Midnight Mission and start my journey. Being born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, winters and the weather was very challenging, especially to be homeless. And to think that the Midnight Mission would open their doors to me with no source of income, really nothing to give them, just to be able to take for them at that point until I could learn through the program here how to give. I'm so grateful for it. It's one of the most incredible things that could have ever happened to me. Well, I remember when I got my first 30-day certificate, and this guy named Clancy had given it to me. And I actually felt that there was some kind of accomplishment and achievement when I was able to walk through that dining room and get that 30 days. I realized that this actually could work for me. Some of the activities I was able to be involved in here, like computer class, being able to work on my education. The resources here are endless if you're willing to utilize them. You can go back to college here. So many great organizations here. I learned how to run and to be part of the Skidrow running club. I was part of a band called the Mission to Midnight Band, and we actually got to play at the Whiskey A Go-Go, a world famous club. And I love playing guitar since I was little. Who would ever thought that I have the opportunity to perform by being down here at the Midnight Mission at the Whiskey A Go-Go? And it just blew my mind to be living at a shelter and having an opportunity to go play at one of the biggest, most iconic rock venues in the world. It was just amazing. Art with the Mission, the comedy that they bring in here. There were so many great experiences here. Being able to help out and serve with Mr. T on Easter, just being present at Thanksgiving. And I got to volunteer here at the mission and do things, that I normally wouldn't get to do. And I got so much great support from so many people here, like Clancy, Georgia. When I had graduated this program, I felt like the opportunities could be endless for me. By taking the suggestions that were given to me here at the Midnight Mission and following the program to the best of my abilities, I was able to volunteer for an organization called Street Symphony. And they had actually asked me to come out and speak on their panel at We Rise LA. To be part of something that's bringing music into shelters and giving people access to music, it was just so incredible. I left the Midnight Mission. I had multiple warrants in multiple states. Through the tools that I learned here, I was able to clear up all those warrants. I was able to get a driver's license. I was able to purchase a vehicle. I learned how to hold a job here. Didn't know how to work. I didn't know how to hold a job. I didn't know how to wash clothes. I didn't have access to any of these resources before I got here. Before I got here, I had access to nothing. I had a prayer that I would die every single day, and I couldn't die. Now I have prayers in gratitude, and I ask God to let me live so I can help other people. There were so many actions I didn't want to take, but I became willing to do so many things. And with a little bit of willingness and the resources and the support here from the loving staff, I was able to change my life completely. There's been so much great stuff that's come out of this mission that I've been able to see. People who go back to college, people who get degrees, people who find housing, who find a different way of life. You know, I found love. I found courage through the staff here. I was weighed down. You know, I was filled with so much hatred and resentment and fear. And I was able to walk through that and find the resources I needed to overcome that. Whether it been health insurance, dental, 3 clean meals a day. I mean, just being able to eat a few meals a day totally changed the way that I felt and the way that I thought. Being able to get into a shower and not smell, just all these little things. Being able to go and get clean shoes, being able to go and get clean clothes and have a pair of new shoes on, and even be able to go get a haircut some days downstairs. I mean, these little things really started to make me feel like I was part of society again. They made me really feel human. I didn't feel so ugly when I looked at myself. And then the work that they had done to help me with the counseling and the resources to build my confidence. You know, the people that took time and those one-on-one conversations that they had with me were absolutely priceless to help me feel better about myself and where I was actually headed in this journey. I sit here with an honest story of having nowhere to go, no hope in life, no resources at all. And just by listening to some suggestion, taking some action, and trying to be better than I was the day before, I was able to really utilize this facility. I was able to find a love for other people and a love for Ted that never existed before I worked a program here. There are endless amount of resources here if you're willing to use them and to ask. If you're out there, now's your chance to have a new life. Because my experience here is if you put the work in, you take some suggestion, you take advantage of those resources, you get involved in all the great things that they have here, music with a mission, art with a mission, the comedy. Just try to get out of yourself and be open to new experiences, Street Symphony, the Skidrow Running Club. All these things were so monumental in making me discover who Ted really was. If you really want to make a difference, I can promise you that supporting the Midnight Mission will make a difference in somebody's life. It has made the biggest difference in my life that I've ever had.